HTML documents, so the whole idea of the World Wide Web, was created with the intent of being able to share documents, essentially research documents that people had created, and they wanted to be able to have text, have data in them, images, charts, those sorts of things. And importantly, they wanted them to be able to be linked together so that I could create a research document, and if I were referencing someone else's work, I could just have you follow a link to that person's document on the World Wide Web and see that information as well. So it's a big piece of it. I wanted the ability to create these rich documents, but also they should all be linked together. It should be a web of information. And HTML really is what's known as a markup language. We're going to create our documents, mark them up with these tags or this meta information, and then it's meant to be processed by a client application. Today we think of that almost exclusively as a browser, internet browser like Internet Explorer, Chrome, Firefox, the Safari browser. And so what we're going to focus on in this course is creating that markup and how the various elements and tags that we use are interpreted by the browsers to give us the document that we want to share with people. So a simple example, we look at this markup here. See, there are a lot of things that are really instructions to the client, saying this is an HTML document, here's the body, and I have an H1 or a first level heading called semantic web, with the idea that you're not going to see those tags or those elements, that markup that's going to be used by the client in order to display your data. So we have the semantic web here. Obviously this page has a lot more markup behind it, but the idea is similar, that we're going to provide this markup and a client is going to interpret it. If we look at an HTML document, we've got a very simple example here. We have at the top a doc type. And the doc type is a declaration in your document of which version of the HTML standard you're following. So here you can see we're following the HTML4 where we have the strict in there. There are a variety of different document standards that you can follow, including XHTML, which is HTML4, but all documents are valid XML documents as well. So we'll look at that in a moment. So the doc type is there, tells any client which standard we're following. We follow that by an HTML root element, which is our single top level element that's going to wrap our document. All of our other pieces are going to be contained inside of that. We have the head, and the head or header is really where we're going to provide a lot of metadata, almost exclusively used by the clients or the browsers. So we'll provide information as here we've got the title, we can provide metadata, we can provide links to related documents, be those style sheets, script. If we're talking about a document with many pages, we might be linking to a previous or next page as well. So all that information can be used by the browser, but with the exception of title, you almost never see that information represented in the page. And finally, of course, we have the body. This is where we put our document data. This is what the user is going to see. This is where the bulk of our markup happens, where we focus on the information that we want to present to the user.